of going to battle. It's our guy, Coach Michael Malone. The Michael Malone Show is brought to you by the Central City Casino Parkway. Take I-70 to exit 243. The Central City Parkway, your 4 lanes to fun. Coach, it's great to have you on. How are you today?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
Always a tough day after a loss at home, but it gives us a chance to get some rest after a tough schedule, 3 and 4 nights, and get ready for Milwaukee tomorrow night. So hopefully we can bounce back, and with 4 games remaining on this homestand, find a way to go to protect our home court.
How do you deal with things as a coach during more difficult times when the emotions can be a roller coaster, up and down? You were very clear about how you felt about things on Friday. You come out Sunday and you have a stellar performance. I thought the effort last night overall was pretty impressive. I think the NBA schedule, wore things down a little bit. But I'm curious, like that process from going from some sort of low moment on Friday to, 72 hours later. What's the best way to approach things as you've experienced?
Well, what I've come to realize is that an NBA season is filled with many ups and downs, twists and turns. And as a head coach and as a leader of this team, you have to find a way to try to keep this group together and as even keeled as possible. Not always easy because emotions are a big part of this game. And as you mentioned, after the game in Portland, I lit into our guys a little bit, and I felt that was needed. And then our guys responded in a big way, beating a team in Houston on the road that had won 9 games in a row. And to do it without Nikola Jokic, I think was one of our better wins of the season. And then, we could use the schedule as definitely a reasonable excuse for last night. But the reality is we got beat by the Bulls. We got beat in transition all night long. It's one of the few times this year where we won the first quarter, didn't win the game. And it's one of the few times this year where we out-rebounded our opponent. We out-rebounded the Bulls by 9 last night. It's one of the few games where we out-rebounded our opponent and we didn't win the game. So I do feel we did play hard. We competed, and our guys put everything they had into that game. But what I really noticed was in that fourth quarter, for 3 quarters, offensively, we were humming. We had 95 points going into the fourth quarter. We were shooting over 52% from the field. And then in that fourth quarter, I thought our legs just completely gave out. We were unable to score, to make any shots. And obviously they ran from the first play of the game all the way through the last. And you have to give them credit.
Coach, you talked about that fast break thing, and I remember just, and I'm sure you've already watched the film, if not once, probably twice, but going back and doing it live, it would seem to me the biggest concerns last night in some of those transitions were communication and just awareness of where bodies were on the floor. Is that a fair assessment of that?
Yeah, and obviously, as you know, Scott, when you give up 31 transition points to a team that we knew was going to run, I mean, that's what they've done. They're one of the hottest teams in the league. The Bulls are 8-2 in their last 10, and they're beating some really good teams. And they're doing it by just running teams off the court, playing at a really high pace. And so we talked about that going in. And the thing that really is impressive when you watch the film, and then as I'm watching the film last night till 3 a.m, is that not only do we get beat in transition, but the number of times they beat us in transition after we scored. So a lot of times, like teams that you get a rebound, you get an outlet pass, you didn't have floor. We were scoring the basketball. We had 119 points. We had 34 assists. We did a lot of good. We had 58 in the paint. But they were getting the ball out of the net, inbounds, and up the floor in a hurry. And I think your point's really an important one. When Josh Giddey, when Kobe White, when their players were attacking in transition, they did not see enough bodies. So we always say that not only do we have to declare the ball and stop the ball, so let's say it's Christian Brown, I got ball, but he needs help behind that. And I felt their players just had too many driving lanes and were able to get into our gaps over and over and over again. And we did a poor job of loading and providing help to take away those early driving lanes. And obviously it was a critical part to us losing last night.
Coach, I know you love some good defense, and you just talked about a number of the reasons, but you're up till 3:00 in the morning watching the film. Do you see things that are easily fixable?
Well, I think communication is fixable. I think discipline is fixable. A lot of times when I watch the film, we're going to give up points off of how we guard. Every defense has their own philosophy. This is what we do, and then the offense has different counters to attack that. So we are going to give up points every single night. That's why there is a scoreboard in Ball Arena, because teams are going to score. But the ones that we have to, really, really reduce and try to eliminate are the ones that are a lack of discipline, a lack of communication. Those are the ones that get you beat. And, so, yes, do I think it's fixable? I think we've shown all year long when we want to play defense that we can be a team that can guard anybody. We've shown it in clutch situations. We've shown it against some of the best teams in the league. Our biggest problem all year long, obviously, has been a severe lack of consistency within that. And I'm not just talking about game to game, week to week. I'm talking about half to half and quarter to quarter within the same game. And having a high-powered offense, number 2, I believe, on the season in offensive rating, having the number 1 running team in the league, that is a blessing and a curse, because I think sometimes there is a belief within the group where we can just outscore teams. We can just outscore teams. We can get the ball to Nicola. Mm-hmm. We can play 2-man game with Jamal and Nicola. And that, as we all know, is a really slippery slope, scary proposition. And I'm a firm believer that even with that offense, come playoff time, if you don't play defense, none of that matters.
We've seen Peyton Watson really grow over the last couple of years, and I don't think you guys expect him to score 24 every single night, but I thought he looked more aggressive. He played more downhill, which I think is a key for young players. Even Christian started, he got those 2 turnovers early, but he got in the paint and wasn't even looking at the rim, but then he got more aggressive, started getting the free throw line, started finishing. But Peyton Watson, some of the things he does defensively and some of the shots he's able to block, I don't know if you get to watch it all the time, but I think it's just been amazing, some of the stuff he's been able to do defensively.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to point out that for a young player, who did not play his first year, played last year, did not get a lot of time in the playoffs, and obviously is a key player off the bench for us. We got the start last night with Aaron missing another game. Peyton's greatest challenge, like every other young player, is finding that consistency. And one of the best ways to find that consistency is to play hard every night. Because when you play hard, good things happen. And Peyton last night, he gets 24 points on a really efficient 8 of 12 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, and he got to the foul line, Scott, 8 times, which shows that he's playing with an aggressive attack mindset, which he should always do because of how athletic and explosive he is. And he had 4 blocks. And whether it's blocking a shot in the corner on a three-point shot or it's blocking a shot at the rim to protect the basket, his defensive versatility to guard a lot of different positions on the floor has been really impressive. And it's great to see him finding a rhythm and playing more and more consistent basketball because he's such an important piece for us.
Coach, felt like DeAndre Jordan went a while without playing a whole lot of basketball, and now he is. 31 minutes last night. He's been playing quite a bit. I'm curious what goes into when DeAndre gets a lot of playing time.
Well, yeah, throughout 82 games, we've had different rotations throughout the year. You go back to the beginning of the season, the first 10 games or so, we tried to play Dario Saric as our backup 5, and then we moved to DJ for a while, and then obviously Zeke Naji has been playing. It's a little bit different as of late, obviously, with Nikola Jokic missing all the games that he has missed. Mm-hmm. So now it's almost, center by committee. And DJ in the Houston game was such an important factor in us getting that win, size, physicality, and most importantly, his rebounding. And then setting great screens on offense. Last night, once again, DeAndre Jordan gives you 10 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 assists. So when we're a team that's been struggling to rebound at a high level and you have a guy over there that's one of the best rebounders still in the game as a 17-year vet, we need to get him in there because we're just getting murdered on the glass, and DJ provides size, length, physicality. And when we do rebound, that allows us to get out and run, which is when we're at our best. So I can't give DJ enough credit for just being a leader, staying ready, and doing whatever is asked of him. And he's done that ever since he's gotten to Denver.
You know, it's interesting. We've heard different coaches want different things. We had an example of Sean Payton who, like, ripped into Russell Wilson. Wilson didn't rip back, that sort of thing. We saw Sean Payton do the same with Bo Nix. Bo Nix responded in an angry way. You said you kind of ripped into the team after Friday. I'm curious what happens if the athletes come back at you. Like, and I don't know if that happens or not. I don't know if is like, hey, that is what I'm looking for a little bit. You know, you see that scene in like the movie Miracle, and I know it's a movie, but when you push the team to a certain degree, maybe you want a little pushback. Maybe you want a little emotion. I'm curious how you view that.
First off, you watch a lot of movies, I can tell. You always reference a lot of movies. That's pretty good. Listen, I think, you know, as a coach, as an effective coach, you cannot be afraid of confrontation.
Okay.
You cannot be afraid of the emotions of it. I welcome it. I want it. That's just kind of who I've been, who I am as a coach. I have to be true to who I am. And when I get on guys, I always try to make sure I'm not making a personal attack.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference.
Yep.
You know, between lighting into a team in terms of our collective effort, our collective physicality, our collective urgency was nowhere close to being where it needed to be against Portland. And I challenged guys. I said, if anybody in this room disagrees, please speak up. I am here for that. I welcome it. And players know. That's one thing, especially about a group like ours. We have a group, a lot of veterans, a lot of young players, a group that's won a lot of games these last 6-7 years, probably more than anybody else in the NBA, if not one, maybe two. So our guys understand what it takes to win at a high level, and they also know what it looks like when we don't play our best basketball. And if I'm not willing to go in there and call them out and to speak the truth, I think I lose any and all respect that I may have in that respective locker room. Because now if I come in there and say, hey, good job, guys, don't worry about it, let's go to Houston, I have failed my team. So my job is to be truthful and to challenge guys to say, hey, man, if you disagree with me, speak up, and we can talk about it. And having those conversations sometimes might be uncomfortable for some people, but I think they are so necessary if you as a team, a collective unit, are going to get to a deeper, more meaningful place. Because you just can't sugarcoat everything. That's just not possible, and it's not in my nature. And I think the guys that have been here understand that.
Hey, Coach, I'm going to lighten up, tell you a funny story that happened last night pregame with our good friend Wes Unseld Jr. is with the Bulls now with Coach Donovan. And so I'm talking to Wes, and I go, man, have you been in the gym? You know, anytime you say it to a guy, what do? You grab their arm, right? I'm saying, dude, you're starting to look like you're getting stacked a little bit. You've been in the gym. And he goes, nah. And so we keep talking. I said, man, you're in. He goes, nah, I'm just wearing smaller shirts now. He goes, like Dempsey.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So I figured, okay, well, I might have said like Dempsey, and he agreed with it. So how's that? There we go.
Yeah, I love. I miss Wes Unseld. I love him. I've known Billy Donovan for a long time. I have a lot of respect for Billy, for Wes, and obviously, Wes. Long before he was a coach of mine and my lead assistant, he was a friend, and he'll always be a friend of mine because he's just a wonderful person.
All right, I got something stupid. No, we're near the end of the interview, so I got something dumb. Yeah.
You mean you got
another something stupid? Yes, I'd throw it on there. All right, you said you were watching film till 3 a.m. I'm curious of the semantics of that. Like, are you required to talk to your wife when you go home, or like, do you slip off right away? Do you pretend to go to sleep and then just get up? Like, how do you sort of manage that?
So really easy. You would think. I guess the good thing is I've been married for I think 26 years now.
Yeah.
Happily married for around 15. I get home last night after a tough loss.
Yeah.
And you're looking for a little sympathy, a little love.
Yeah.
And I come home, and I mean, it is quiet. The lights are off.
Yeah.
And there's no one here to greet me. And I got the world's smallest violin in my hand right now. And so I just came into my office, and I just started doing my post-game report. Then I turned on the video, and she must have woken up a little while after that, and she was sound asleep, and she came down to check on me. So I gave her a little bit of grace on that. But yeah, it's just, I can't just come home and go to sleep.
No.
I need to think about the game. I need to watch the game. I need to, put my edits together, the film that we watch as a staff, as a team.
Yeah.
And that way today I can start turning the page and getting ready for Milwaukee tomorrow night. But what you realize is that being a head coach in this business and the different emotions that come from a great win in Houston, a tough loss against Chicago, is that it can be a very lonely existence at times. And but it's okay because I'm the danger, so I'm ready for it.
Be the danger. I'm the danger.
I am the one who knocks.
Yeah.
I am not in danger. I am the danger.
You know it, Coach. All right. Anything else? Were you saying goodbye?
That's good.
We
That's good.
Dmac, I'm just waiting for you to get a T-shirt made, man. That says "I am the danger."
We had Dan. Didn't we have a listener who actually made something up? We did have somebody. We'll forward it along to you.
No, we got to bring it to him for the press conference.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna. We'll give it.
Please do, man. Like I'm all for that, man. Let's get the word out.
All right.
I am not in danger. I am the danger. I am the one who knocks.
All right, Coach. We'll let you go on that one. See you
All
later.
right, guys. All the best, man.
All right.
See you
See
next
you,
week.
Coach.
All
Thank
right,
you.
There he is. Oh, we found something he likes.
He does. Hey, he remembers that, though.
He does every time.
I am not in danger. I am the danger.